Welcome back, fellas. I'm clean shaven now. Almost clean shaven. I took the gray off the side of the face and all that shit. Um, Thorn Ripper left a email for me talking about the riots in England and stuff like that, and I mentioned how I've got a shotgun. I'm prepared. I also have been studying for a long time now survival, how to live off the land. So I'm prepared. I don't have the experience of it yet. I got really sick last year, and I couldn't do the survival boot camp that I wanted to do. But I plan to do it sometime next year in 2012. And there's a lot of talk about 2012, world's supposed to end or some shit like that. I'm not a soothsayer of doom and gloom. Like, I bet these people who are, when I talked about the emotional vampires, I bet you they'll latch on to that and start talking about that real soon as it gets closer. Whatever it takes to get them, all riled up and get a little rabble rousing going on. So I don't want to preach on bad stuff. I just believe in being prepared for just in case. But I like for my just in case stuff to have some good fun purposes to it also. For example, the land that I plan to buy in Arizona or somewhere around there. I'm gonna look also in Texas and places like that, but it'll be retreat land also for my family. Okay, so it won't just be for case of doom and gloom, but it'll be a place where my family can go to camp or drive a motorhome up to or whatever, for their vacations. So it also will serve dual purposes. When I went to college, I looked for classes that kept me interested that I could apply to my real life. And that was one of the things I liked about going to school after I finished. The last time I went to college was during 9/11, and I haven't been back, unfortunately, but I was taking debate class, and I was also doing an aerobics class and a jump rope class and stuff that I could use. When you get through your education stuff and you're established in your life, it's good to go back to school and take other stuff that you could use in your personal life. I like taking classes that I can actually use. Debate, I enjoyed debate because I was looking at public speaking. I eventually got into Toastmasters, and when I started, I won 13 competitions in a row. Then I went on to win division level. So I like taking stuff and making it work, okay? And I like pushing myself and challenging myself. And I love coming out on top, of course. I don't like to lose. Nobody likes to lose. Some of these people who are so used to losing, they're like a little pocket of negativity down there on YouTube. They're all over YouTube. They have the little pockets here and there. You get little pockets of followers of one negative guru and another negative guru, another doomsayer and all that kind of stuff. And that's not what I want to do here on this channel. I want to raise you guys up, okay? Because there is a lot of good in the world out there. Despite all the darkness, there is still some good. I want you guys to become the light in the darkness out there for the people in your lives, okay? So it starts with one person. It goes to two. From those two, it multiplies on and on. So we can eventually start fighting back the what's the word I'm looking for? The doomsayers, okay? Those people out there that are spreading all that negative shit, all that doom and gloom. Those negative types, emotional negative vampires. We have to stand against these people, okay? All of you guys have shown that you have the potential to stand up and become real men. You're still here. You're still trying. You haven't given up and settled into a situation where I just give up. As I said to those guys who I'm not going to mention their name anymore, because when you name something, you give them power. So I'm going to call them the nameless ones. Those people, you notice how they gravitate into that little dark corner they have, the little dark world. They don't see any light. There's no hope for them. One fellow asked me if I think he wanted me to take one of them and work with them. But you got to understand, those people aren't even willing to meet you halfway to even begin to work with them. You guys have met me halfway. You've come to the show, you've learned. Many of you have so improved your lives, so improved it. And then I look at these people, and you can see why I feel nothing but disgust and revulsion for them. They've given up. That's not what a man was born to do. If men gave up in their past, they wouldn't be here today. The fact there'd be empty slot where they used to be. So think of all the men in their past generations, going back to that first African. That's how far back I want you to go. You know, I'm not going to give him a name. The main guy is a white dude. Okay, we go back 6,000 years of breeding, and then go back even further before when the race was all black. Think of all those males. If just one of them had given up, it would have thrown that entire chain to produce him off. Think about that. If one of them had just given up and said, you know what, I'm just too ugly. I'm going to go live in a mountain by myself. And that would have thrown everything off. Men were made to breed. Women, they're made to be bred. That's the simple fact of the matter. And that's why we're here. That's the only reason why we're here, believe it or not. This thing we call society, that's mankind's invention. That's our illusion that we're gods. But when it comes down to it, nature can wipe us out in a minute. Look at New Orleans. Hurricane Katrina. Look at all the other natural disasters. Look at Japan. Look at all the natural disasters. We're not the gods of this planet. We're not gods at all. We're men. We're humans. We're part of this planet, the entire ecosystem. So nature can slough us off like fleas on a dog's back. So when you recognize that you're a man and that your initial purpose is to produce. I know in one race of people, they have gotten it into their brains. They've made this mental thing that I'm going to have one child. And now that race has a negative birth rate. That's the result of this, instead of responding to this. Okay? If you listen to what's inside of you, it's saying, breed, produce more. That's the voice of life, the energy of life speaking to you and through you. Now, I'm not talking about people whose the voice is twisted. It says, look at your same sex. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about when the voice is clear. Okay, that's what nature is all about. Nature's not here to produce something that does not produce. So when I look at these males who have given up, and if I was in charge of nature, I would go back in time, just erase them. Because it's just a waste. Why should they even be here if they're not going to produce? Sure, we can glorify an illusion of our society that we have and all that kind of stuff, but when you get down to the basic of it, we're here to produce. We're here to grow. Now, I'm only speaking of one part of growth. Okay, the other part of our growth is we evolve. We've evolved we've developed the society that we have. We've developed this modernness that we have, the machines that we have. These are basically just toys. That's all they are. They don't really mean anything in the big scope of things, which is the ultimate development of mankind. So we can fool ourselves all we want to. You know, in the ADs, we gave ourselves 3 religions, 3 powerful religions. We have all this other stuff going on the planet. Wars. Weirdos. Some weird people out there. I don't even want to go into the negativity of that stuff. I had enough of that watching that Dating in the Dark stuff. And that voice of that girl. Hi, come on in. come on in, and all the suckers lining up to go in. Oh, to a child, wow. So I think it's time that we start looking at the positive sides of things, okay? Staying on a positive track, fellas. I think a lot of fellows who have been on the forum, you guys have developed so well. I'm very, very proud of you guys. The fellows that are still struggling, you're next. We need to get you guys up and functional for what your first purpose is, and that is to breed. When you look at your sex drive, the energy behind sex drive is really just the voice of life speaking to you, telling you to breed in women and in men. When that energy hits the brain, then out comes, our mankind's thoughts on that subject. Some of us like skinny chicks, some of us like thick chicks, some of us like medium chicks, some of us like blonde hair, some guys like brown hair, some guys like redheads. That's when the brain fucking it up. And I say fuck it up because when you put something through a prism and you put a little bit of mud on it, the light doesn't come out clearly. Okay? So that's the human take on it. When we start humanizing it, we put on the belief that, okay, well, I only can do it if I'm in the woods or some weird shit like that, or if I'm in a pig pen, or I can only do it if she's tied up. Something that's not, just responding to the simple energy that life is saying, the simple voice that life is speaking to you. So as I look at what's going on in the world out there, I can only shake my head. I really can only shake my head. How about you guys shake yours?